It's monthly reading wrap-up time, so let's do this together, shall we? So the first book that I finished in the month of March was Project Hail Mary, specifically the audiobook, and it was amaze. I gave this a 5 star. Project Hail Mary is about a man named Rylan Grace who wakes up in space, doesn't remember who he is or why he's in space, and as he is trying to figure all this out, all of his memories start coming back. He meets someone that is very unexpected, and together they end up teaming together to find the solution to save Earth. And it was just so heartfelt. I'm not a sci-fi person at all. This is my first sci-fi book, but I absolutely loved, and I feel like the audiobook narrator did an amazing job at making me understand. I feel like the writing was simple enough. Like the science part was a little complicated, but he made it in a simplistic way to where even though, no, I don't know what that word means, but I get it through context. So, anyway, love this book. 5 out of 5 stars. The second book that I finished in March was It's Not Her by Mary Kubica, and this was something that I read to get me out of a fantasy slump because I've been reading a lot of fantasy lately, and I ended up giving it 3 stars just because I felt like it was a little bit um, hard for me to finish with the one of the point of views is a teenage girl. So the dialogue is very immature whenever it's her point of view, which is obviously understandable because she's 17. Basically, this book is about two families who go on vacation, and while they're on vacation, one of the set of parents gets murdered, and the other family that is there, the main woman's name is Courtney. She is the sister to the man who died, and she is now trying to figure out who killed her sister-in-law and brother, where her missing niece is, and in this story you get to see that the town has secrets and lies, and so does every single person that is involved in this story. You get to see all the dirty little secrets come out and how they play into the bigger part of the picture of who killed the parents and where the missing niece is. The third book that I finished was To Cage a Wild Bird, and this was so good. I hated that I put it off for so long because I've definitely been in my dystopian era again lately. I love To Cage a Wild Bird. It was nothing like crazy out of the ordinary or like new or revolutionary, but I just really enjoyed it. I think it was just the mood that I'm in because I'm a big mood reader. So for me, To Cage a Wild Bird just hit the sweet spot. I felt like the romance was good and the point of the book was very clear. There was only really a couple things with the book that I felt like could have improved a little bit, but other than that, it got me out of a reading slump. So this got 5 out of 5 stars. This is a dystopian world where the prison system is set up to where the prisoners get hunted like wild game, basically, and the rich people get to pay to hunt these prisoners. And so when the female main character's brother gets arrested and gets put into prison, she has to find a way to get into the prison to get him out. And while she's there, she meets a group of rebels and is discovering their secrets and figures out that she wants to join the rebellion, and you get to see why. And you also get to meet a security guard who works at this prison that may not be as by the book as you think he is. So, anyway, romance, dystopian, very cool concept. I enjoyed every bit of it. The fourth book that I read was Red Rising, and I've heard so much about this book. I was a little bit intimidated, honestly, because everybody is like, it's one of those God tier series, and I'm not a big series person. I like maybe a trilogy or duology, but for me, it's harder to get invested when it's like 5, 7, a ton of books. I loved Red Rising. I gave it 5 stars. Now, I will say, you have to use your brain a lot because I feel like the dialogue and how many characters are introduced in this book make it a little bit hard to read it super fast paced. Like I wanted to, I didn't want to put it down, but I had to kind of flip back and forth trying to figure out, wait, who are they talking about? Wait, who is this again? Wait, what does that word mean? So I felt like the dialogue took some getting used to, but I think it was just a very good start and very good world building to where it's really setting you up to be able to breeze through the rest of the books without having to second guess which character is which. So this is another dystopian world that segregates the different people through a color system. So each class gets a color. And your main male character, his name is Darrow. He is a red. That means that he is the lowest of the class system. They have the hardest jobs. And him and the rest of his class are very much kept in the dark about what is really going on. He thinks that they are the founders of Mars who are preparing Mars so that they can save the rest of humanity. And whenever he discovers more information about this, and as he loses someone close to him, it really takes his stance to where he was not wanting to be part of a rebellion at all. Now he wants revenge. And so that has really forced him into this rebellion. And you get to see him go to a school that is not teaching just classes. They are also teaching the kids how to kill each other. And so you get to really see all the different class systems, how that works, and how that also plays into today's society. And he is learning all of the other colors' secrets and really plotting for this rebellion now, because now he's working for the rebellion. So I felt like it was very touching, very like, I don't even know what the right word would be, but just made you think a lot, was very intellectual, and the dialogue was very different. But I think the world building was great, and also the connection that you get to see with all the different characters because the world building was so good. I thought it was amazing, and I can't wait to read the second one. The fifth one that I read in March was Half City by Kate Golden, and this was another one of those like nothing super crazy or new, but I felt like just really itched my itch. It's about a demon hunter who is doing things all on her own and is living very much a double life with her human family and human friends. They don't know that she's a demon hunter or what she can do. And so when a demon approaches her about going to a hunter school, she decides to go and try to see if she can figure out as much about her late father as she possibly can. While she's there, she is building relationships, fixing her current relationships and friendships. And also, she now has the mission of finding her missing classmate. So it really puts kind of a mystery edge to it. There's romance in this book as well. And so she is developing feelings for the one person that she, as a demon hunter, should not be feeling anything for. So I felt like the story was very easy to read, very simple to get through. I felt like it had the right touches of different things going on to where it wasn't too much, but it was enough to keep you interested. For sure, it wasn't just very flatlined or boring. So it got a 5 out of 5 stars. And then the last book that I just finished yesterday was The Book Club for Troublesome Women. I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. I love historical fiction, but I will say this book was not one that really just like grabs your attention, or there anything super significant happens that really just keeps your attention throughout the book. So it was kind of hard to read it. I felt like because it was so simple, it should have been easy to like breeze through, but instead I felt like I wanted to keep putting it down because I was bored, unfortunately. I do like that I got to see a little bit more of the 1960s timeline, and from a woman's point of view, what things were like then and different things that were going on in the world and in the economy. I felt like that was very cool because, like I said, I love historical fiction. But this book was just a little slow, and I felt like it just needed maybe a few more things, or maybe the writing style that wasn't so like just very monotone and linear throughout the thing. I just felt like it was harder for me to connect with, and that's just my personal opinion. So it got 3 out of 5 stars. So this was a maybe. I don't know. And it may be everybody likes things so different. So during the 1960s, women were very limited on what they could do. They were expected to, yes, they could go to school, but they weren't really expected to finish school. They were expected to marry, have kids, stay at home. And so it was very much still a man's world, and the men controlled the bank accounts and what medication the women could take or not take. And so when this group of women from this town get together and they read the Feminine Mystique, they all decide to really take a look at their own lives and figure out if they are living the life that they want to and what they could do to change things for women. in their time and generation, how they can make things better for the next generation. So you get to see multiple points of view, and see what each couple, each woman is going through individually, and how close they grow as a group of friends that really just helps them get through all these difficult things that they're going through, and also how this book impacted them and inspired them to do things for themselves. And then you get to see many years later at the very end of the book, and how it kind of concluded for their group, which was sweet. So this was a maybe. I felt like, maybe just me personally, I felt like I needed a little bit. I'm used to reading, like, especially lately, a lot of the historical fiction books that I've read have been Chris and Hannah. And to me, there's something in those books that just make you feel really deep emotions. And for me, I didn't feel super connected to this book. I felt the characters were very, like, distant and hard to get attached to. Anyway, that is the wrap up for March, and I will be doing my April hopefuls soon. Bye.